Rip.
I hadn't heard him say anything. Oh,
Unrip.
be back.
Got a
First
boy
rip.
touch senior. Check. 1, 2. Check. Syphilis. Syphilis. No. Okay.
SYPHILIS. Syphilis.
Hold on. Saggy package. Can you hear us? Are you alive?
You can't edit your skill sheet though.
I can hear. Can you hear?
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello?
It's electronic.
Pretty robotic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a robot. Not even the real Duff.
So what was your question you were
Okay,
asking, Skosh, about editing your skill sheet?
In the
Cool.
I've got my skill sheet open. Do you want it? Should I have the edit
Cool.
function open on it already?
Oh, we will get to that. I was actually going to literally walk everyone through, like, from the basic D&D Beyond screen, like, ta-da, you are here. I'm going to assume that everyone has a profile now for D&D Beyond. If you don't, please take this opportunity to create a profile for D&D Beyond. When you're on the main screen, in the upper left, there's a drop-down tab for collections. In there, it has stuff that you will be able to save yourself, your characters, campaigns that you're doing, and any of the homebrew stuff that you like on the site and that you want to create yourself. We will get to that later. So right now, I am clicking on my characters. And when I do, it takes me to a new screen, D&D Beyond My Characters. It has up to 6 slots that can be used for anyone who is a non-paying member, which is at least myself for right now, because to buy the whole compendium of everything, it's like $638. But you do get like all of their books, but you know, why would you spend money for stuff you can get for free?
Isn't it the only way you can get the spells added, like all the spells added to your account too?
Yes and no. There are some things that you can't get added unless someone has all of those books downloaded. But you can still put it in there, and then you can just go onto the wiki page for it and just have the flavor text for whatever the spell is.
Yeah.
So in the upper right is a button that says create a character, and I would recommend we all click that now. There are 3 different ones: standard, quick build, and randomize. We're going to do standard.
I'm on dndbeyond.com. I don't see that button.
From dndbeyond.com, right underneath the tag in the upper left is a collections dropdown. If you mouse over it, there's a My Characters section. It'll take you to the home page for your characters, and then, yep.
Perfect.
So we're not doing this from your D20 site. We're doing this from D&D Beyond.
Correct. The D20 site is literally just the tabletop web browser. So once we have our characters, you'll keep your character sheet as like a screen for yourself to look off of, or on the hard copy for you to look off of as well. But the Roll20 app is literally a grid-based virtual tabletop where I'll be able to put the maps down. You'll have tokens for all of your characters and everything else, so we can not just talk about it, we can actually kind of see something that's going on.
Can I upload a custom token?
Sure can. I would. In fact, if all of you want to find your own tokens and also, you know, visuals for yourself, let me know and send them to me, and we'll get them uploaded. But taking us back to character building, once you have clicked on the button on the upper right that says create a new character, it should take you to a new sheet that has a character builder in the upper left area and a bunch of different things, and we will just go through from the top. There is a blank portrait where you can upload a picture of, oh, by the way, everything that you do right now can be edited constantly at any time you want from the D&D Beyond. Like once you complete it, there'll just be like a little button you can press on your finish sheet that's like, I need to update my character. So don't worry about like not having a picture right now or anything like that. But character's name, so you guys get to choose your character's name. Morgazorg. Morgazorg. The sources that are going to be allowed, click off homebrew content because that stuff is just like really cool and broken. So we are going to go with Eberron content, Magic the Gathering content, and Critical Role content. Advancement type.
Not the Rick and Morty content, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking Rick and Morty.
Bold move.
Yeah, I had that question too. We were going to do Rick and Morty, right?
The sword cuts both ways. If you guys want to do a Rick and Morty
No, we
campaign, we'll
don't.
run it. But
really don't want to do that.
No,
It's
I
actually
wasn't serious
incredible how much I don't want to do that.
So for this campaign, we're going to advance by milestone. It's a lot easier that at certain points throughout the campaign that's set, that you'll advance from the achievements that you've accomplished, and it also helps of not having to worry about did we get enough experience as a party to level up. Later on, if we get into the second half of this 3 halves of this campaign, then we can switch over to more experience based. But milestones just a little less stuff for numbers for you guys have to crunch. Does it make sense?
Real quick, what content?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Gathering and what else?
Critical Role, Magic the Gathering, and Eberron.
Okay.
The next point is more up to you. It's the hit point type, fixed and manual. Basically, when you level up as a character, every different class has a base hit dice. So a fighter has a hit dice of a D4, which means that you have basically, when you level up, you roll a 1D4 plus your Constitution, and that's your new hit points that you can add to your total. Whereas like a warrior has a D10. Obviously, the classes are based a little bit differently on if you're going to be melee based or brain based, which is why it's a little bit different. So if you want to do fixed, you can do that. If you want to do manual, that just means that every time you need to roll the dice yourself and increase your hit points by yourself.
Yeah.
That sounds like more fun.
Yeah,
And I got-
I'm gonna roll some stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a lot more fun. Like the more that you choose to roll, the better. But it doesn't matter to me which one you
Higher risk, but higher reward on it.
Also true. You could roll that 1, and then you're stuck with Constitution of 1, so you get 2 HP during your level up. There are also you can take half. It's a new thing that they have in 5th edition, where you can take 1 more than the half point of your hit dice when you level up plus your Constitution. So like if you have a D8 for your hit dice, you can take a 5 plus your Constitution. But that's for later on when we get to it. Feats and multi-classes use prerequisites, which is basically just saying in order for you to be able to do something really cool, you actually need to be able to physically do it. So you can't just go around doing like a swirling vortex of sword death if you don't have a dexterity of 13. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. We are not doing encumbrance unless you want to. Again, if you want to play your character where you're doing encumbrance, totally do it. That's fine. And we're going to ignore coin weight.
Ignore coin
because,
weight.
like, ignore coin weight. And then the other part is just how you want your visuals. So when it comes to your base stats, the strength, dexterity, wisdom, constitution, blah, 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 those numbers are on a scale from 0 to 20 for relative purposes. Those each offer a specific modifier. So if you had like a strength of 10, you would have a modifier of 0. Normal humans, we have a strength of 10 to 11. We can do strength stuff like that. As soon as you move beyond that to like 12, 13, it goes up by 1 every 2 numbers. And those modifiers are what you do for, like, if I say, hey, do a strength check to try to bust open this door. If you have a strength of 15, you get to roll a d20 and then add your strength modifier. So however you want it to look, you want to just care about your modifiers or care about your score. That's how you set it. And then set your privacy to public or private as you are comfortable with. And then we will click next. That was a lot. It was boring, but it was
Just to
the
double
first
check,
page.
it's feats on, multi-class requirements on, ignore coin weight on, encumbrance off.
Correct.
All right.
And
Correct.
then modifiers top or scores top. I sort of spaced out when you started.
Yeah, that one.
Let's
Sorry,
get the preference
I got a
thing.
little long one. It's a your personal preference thing.
All right.
And of course, again, if you go through and you realize that you don't like your preference, just change it.
Sure, I'm gonna do so.
So having clicked the blue arrow that points to the right, you will now be on the section that is 1 race, and you get to choose your race. You can search through the race here of all the races that they have to choose your race. If you click on one like dwarf, it's got 2 sub races, so you get to choose which sub race, a dwarf, hill dwarf, or a mountain dwarf. I am going to be a hill dwarf. Once you have selected your race, it will pull up a confirmation tab. It'll give you an opportunity to look at what this race offers. My racial traits are a +2 for Constitution. I get Dark Vision, Dwarven Resilience, Dwarven Combat Training, and Stone Cunning, which I still cannot believe that made it past playtesting, but that's fine. Breaking it down, it goes through, tells you what your ability score increases, talks about your age, talks about your alignment. This is basically everything from the player's handbook, just in a electronic version. So I'm going to let you guys take a few minutes to get familiarized with your races if you want. If you don't want, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes anyway, so you might as well get familiar with your races.
I'll be right back.
We didn't do their homework, okay?
No, that's why we're doing this right now. Literally, this is the prep
Shocking,
session,
Isaac.
so that because there will be homework by the end of this session, but it's going to be fun homework that everyone's going to really enjoy because it'll help you get your character fleshed out for the first session.
Sweet.
I think I'm gonna just stick with the half race, like the regular half race. I'm not gonna try to do any of the variants or anything. I assume that's a carboy of moonshine.
Brain fuel. I mean, what DM would I be if I was not belligerently drunk the entire time?
I mean, I'm on my second drink of the night, so.
I guess.
Yeah, Oblivion soundtrack playing in the background. That's good.
Oh man, Isaac sounds like shit, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I heard my room in an Oblivion background.
It's better.
Discord is really fucking with my mic settings.
Oh yeah, I'm Discord.
I'm sure it's
Definitely.
Discord's fault.
Yeah.
I have to change the input and output every time I take my headset out. It's really fucking
Yeah,
annoying.
don't ever take your headset out, and then you won't have that problem.
What if I want to use my headset beyond my computer?
Why?
Like for what?
Why would you
use
ever
for podcast
game
that you
not on
use
your
in
computer?
Any other situation?
Music? I mean,
You listen to music
outside
with
of my
that.
laptop room, computer room.
A laptop room.
That sounds like a fake name.
Isaac
for a
would be the
room.
one that's got the laptop room.
But that's the reason why, okay?
Listen, Isaac, I'm just telling you you're doing things wrong. That's all.
I'm just telling
That's
you
what
why
he's here
I sound
for.
like I'm talking through a styrofoam cup, okay? Well,
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Frump, any advice on to what extra spell I'm supposed to choose from the wizard spell list?
Yeah, lots of
Because-
advice on that.
There's like 20, and I don't have the time to look up all of 20 of them.
My advice would be if any of them sound exciting, then tell me now, and I will let you know some quick stuff about it.
does your skill,
Um,
does your class recommend any?
I don't know.
What kind of wizard are you going to be? Are you going to like do illusion
am-
stuff or
I am a-
evocation?
I'm a high elf warlock, but it says I can have a cantrip from choice of the wizard spell list. That's what it's
Oh.
telling me.
Prestidigitation is always a solid first choice for like a cantrip. It just like kind of lets you do like different illusion stuff. Like you can do, it has like specifics. But it's like you could shoot sparks in a certain area. You can make something small move a certain amount of distance. You could blow out a flame, like a candle or something. That's always kind of a useful one to have.
Let's see.
What about chill touch?
Chill touch is pretty cool. So
Pretty
chill.
You create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. You make basically what you do is you make a ranged spell attack. So you make you roll a d20. You make a ranged attack based off of your spell casting ability. And on a hit, it takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Necrotic damage is fucking evil.
Yeah, man.
And yeah. So that's a really good one, especially considering that you are going to be a warlock. And warlocks, as I said, they don't have the ability to cast a lot of spells, but the spells they do cast are always amplified. So I don't know specifically what you want to do, but if you want to do a lot of like really nasty damage to people, that's a good one to have.
A battle mage would be pretty sweet. That's what warlocks are.
Mm-hmm. I personally like to take mending. It is a very versatile and underrated spell. Basically, anything that's broken, you can repair it, as long as it's not magical.
That doesn't sound nearly as much fun as like making people necrotic.
You're super right. It's not nearly as much fun.
Not as cool.
Mm-hmm.
Different magnitude of cool.
That's the woman I sleep next to.
I mean, you do know who you married, so.
Does he know?
I thought I married a nurse. Apparently, I married that nurse that kills people.
I mean, no, I just make them necrotic a little bit.
They just can't be healed until they
She's
pay
ever
more
so
into
slightly
insurance.
necrotic.
It's
Fine.
Just a little bit of that.
Eh.
it's the necrosis that kills them.
No, they just-
Yeah, she
Shut
just
up.
introduces it.
Nurses don't kill people. Necrosis kills people.
I mean, the whole point
Hey.
of Dungeons and Dragons is you get to role play whatever character you want, and if you spend all of your time in life being thankless for saving people's lives, you might as well go through and murder them all.
Diseases
True
don't kill
story.
people, it's their heart stopping that kills them. I mean, come on.
It's true. hmm
Mhm.
General
Rather
sense of death. So have we all picked our race?
Yes.
Cool. Well, congratulations, everyone. We have done it. I have chosen this race. So we are now on to the second part of having confirmed that, and that is where it's just like, hey, this is what you are. For me, I have a screen that says Hill Dwarf. It tells me what my racial traits are. It tells me little tabs about my special racial abilities: Dark Vision, Dwarven Resilience, Dwarven Combat Training, and then there's one that's highlighted with a little blue exclamation point. I get Tool Proficiency, so you can just, if whatever you have in there, anything that's on this screen that is like, hey, choose one of these things, choose one of these things. I am going to be proficient with brewer supplies. Big surprise.
Cool.
hmm
The and this is one thing that like either your backstory can inform or it informs your backstory. So like vice versa. So like if you didn't know what you wanted to do, but suddenly like brewers is a choice. Like you could make your guy a brewer or your character a brewer, and like just formulate an identity around that.
Isaac,
Yeah,
this is for you. This is
Mhm.
information pertinent to your.
I've already read up on all this.
Creation.
I chose my proficiency.
But we're talking about backstory.
Oh well, I mean, why would I make my backstory based
Oh, that's
off-
right.
Have we, has everyone chosen all of the down selections?
I think so. I don't think I had.
I'm ready
anything.
for class, I think.
Yeah.
I only had one thing.
Cool. Yeah, there's usually not a lot. So continue on, hit that blue arrow to the next, and bring us to section 2 class. This is the point where it starts to get really exciting because you get to look at all the things that you're going to grow up into because they're all starting at level 1. So you're basically just a bunch of Brads and Chads. But eventually you're going to be heroes.
Also, I see what you were saying, Pierce. I don't appreciate that.
Just giving me a hard time.
It's just a little slow there, Isaac.
I was distracted. I'm like,
It's Discord. Discord keeps on slowing down chat.
that input again, I swear.
So I made my selection for my class. I've chosen Cleric. And it takes me to a unique page there where You literally calling me nerd for being a cleric while we're playing Dungeons and Dragons? Because you're absolutely
Only
correct.
nerds pick
fucking
clerics.
I fucking love clerics. They are one of my favorite class. Anywho, more drop-down stuff. So you get to choose your drop-down stuff. If you have questions about what that drop stuff is, talk to this cleric nerd right here.
Looks like I'm not actually like doing my hit points yet.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Choices. Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I stuck with the fiend and not the other ones?
What?
Oh, let me go back and I will choose Warlock and figure it out. Because,
It says my only patron is the fiend.
let's see here.
I don't want that one.
Warlock, add class, Pact Magic. Where is it saying that for you?
Under,
Oh, Otherworldly Patron.
yeah, I don't want that one.
Damn. Okay, cool. Gotta go to the marketplace, and this is the unfortunate part where... Shoot.
It doesn't let you do it if you haven't bought something.
If you haven't bought the stuff, yeah, it doesn't let you do it.
If you buy a book, does it somehow like... Can you register it or something?
Would that be good? That would be awesome.
That would be cool, but this is Dungeons and Dragons we're talking about, and they just want your money.
Yeah,
likely
notoriously pay to play.
Yup. Okay.
Hey, it's not magic.
But it is owned by the same people.
It is
I
owned
mean,
by
I
Mhm.
guess if I'm making people necrotic, I guess the fiend works well.
Yeah, that makes me sad that that's happening. So
Just
you did
what's- like, what does the fiend? What does that do to your account or to your character sheet?
it makes the selection of specific spells that you can have by choosing the fiend.
Okay.
So there would be a huge difference between your character sheet and
Yeah, the fiend's like all fire magic, and she was thinking about doing the Archfey, which is like a lot of like sleep and stuff like that.
let's see here.
I mean, it is what it is.
While
Me-
you're looking for that,
Source books, Explorer's Guide.
Eric, do you happen to know where I can find more information about the rogue skills?
The rogue skills. What do you mean?
Like acrobatics, athletics, deception, and insight.
Oh, like what?
The
Um,
yeah, the proficiencies.
So those are just like general proficiencies for all characters?
Oh, you mean like what like proficiencies they come with?
Yeah, like
Those are things that whenever you're doing a check, you're gonna have bonuses to them. Anything you're proficient in, when you roll for a check, you're gonna get +2, or sorry, plus your proficiency bonus, which is going to increase over time.
okay.
So what's like insight? That's one of my
Insight is
choices.
Yeah, insight is when you're trying to gain insight to somebody's motives or insight into the situation that's happening. Like
Okay.
if you have a sense that somebody's off or something's not right, you can roll for insight, and the DM will give you, like, based on how well you roll, some information about that might help you through the situation.
Okay.
Okay, I think I know what I want to do.
Okay. View campaign. Here. So here is what I just did. I purchased the source book for just the player's handbook.
You didn't have to, Brendan. I could have done this. Whatever it is.
I
Fiend.
do this a lot, so it does make sense for me to have a copy.
Giving them
And
an excuse.
yeah, I mean, you could have done it too, but for all of you, is there you go. There's the link to join the campaign. Once you're in the campaign, you'll have access to everything from the player's handbook electronically. So you'll be able to choose this stuff.
So I need to go there now.
Yeah, just click the link and it will take you right to being able to join, and then you'll continue to go through.
You probably have to like hit back or something at that point, but
It'll just you click on it, you'll take it there, and then you'll go right back to the character building screen of
Okay.
number 1.
Are we? But I can't remember. We're doing feats and multi-class requirements, right?
Yes.
Those are checked. Okay. Couldn't remember.
Yep. And I just checked, and now I'm in here. Otherworldly patron. You get to choose of all 3.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
now I'm kind of curious if anything's different for me. Probably not.
Brennan, can you
We
buy
might have a
something
couple.
for all of us?
It did not
Like
change
if you buy
for
one
me.
thing for one child, you have to buy something for everyone.
You are correct, Pierce. If I want to be fair and equitable, then I will go and purchase everything for everyone, comma.
It did not change for me. It's still only the fiend.
Did you
So
reload?
did you click through the link that I sent and then
Yeah.
click join campaign?
Let me try it again. I clicked on link and then I clicked on my character.
And then click join campaign.
I said join with this character. There's no
Okay.
join with campaign.
Campaign. Let's see. Who do I have in here? View the campaign. I've got Bashir and Eos in the campaign right now.
So you didn't join the campaign.
You know what?
I'm just
won't let
calling
me
it like a
click on-
sees it, you know?
It won't let me click on my character now.
I can't yet. It's probably because I'm not finished picking my
My
class.
campaigns.
Do I need to come
Okay.
upstairs?
I don't know.
Do I need to come upstairs?
Do I need to
I
come
don't-
upstairs?
I don't want to create a campaign. View campaign.
Yeah, I've got start a new campaign. That's an option.
I can see the active campaign, but I can't. I don't want to create a campaign.
So for your active campaigns, is there one that says Wheelie Boys and Dragons?
Yeah, I see it. I
Okay,
can't click on it.
So if you click view campaign,
It does nothing.
it doesn't take you to another screen.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Well, our pattern is
Eh.
full, so
Look. Okay, I did what he said. I hit view campaign and nothing happens. It's not my fault.
It is 100%.
It is not my fault.
100% your fault.
See, look, I can't click on my character now. I could before, and then I tried to change the fiend, and then it wouldn't let me change it, so then I exited out. Don't you shush me. Why'd you get it to
Get owned.
How'd
There was
you
a
get it to
problem
work?
joining the campaign with that character.
Did you look to make sure everything was checked right? You did not. Go back.
It's already
we go.
No, because I had to change the fix to manual. You
Evo, Babel.
see.
Why'd you change the fix?
I didn't. I changed it to manual, but when you go back into it, you have to change it. You make sure the top ones are correct since you're changing shit.
How'd you come up with that one, dude?
I'm gonna need you to take a deep breath. Stop! Let me fucking do this, please. Jesus Christ.
Welcome to our marriage.
I mean,
The funny
this
thing
is
is-
nothing different, you know.
Okay. Otherworldly.
The funny thing is, like, you come in crystal clear, and then he comes in kind of yelling in the background.
Okay, so it still only lets me choose the fiend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to select how to do content sharing, and I need to look up how to do that.
I mean, I'll just click it, and we'll just go from there.
Cool. Campaign content sharing and you. Blah blah. Blah.
I'm not buying 60.
600.
Do you
I'm
have
not buying
to,
$600.
do you have to send us all that link to join the campaign?
I put it into the Discord.
Okay.
So you can,
Yeah, I'll go find
And-
it.
looking at what they said here,
No.
in order to do any
Uh,
content sharing, need to do the master tier subscription. So
For the love of God. I'll just be the fiend. Let's just make this
Cool.
easy.
So
I'm just
Emily,
gonna I'm just
Keep
gonna be the
selling out
fiend.
that money from.
yeah, that's listen, there are 7 of us, so if we all 7 want to chip in on that, then I've already started.
what kind of father are you?
Not a father.
Ugh.
Dad?
Not me. All right, so now that we have a Character's not ready. Cool. So, cool. We got that settled. Gonna go switch back to being a cleric now. You know what? I'm gonna be a barbarian because you called me a nerd, and that's what happens when you call a cleric a nerd. He turns into a barbarian.
I don't know what skills to choose. Is there like somewhere I can go to Google these really easily?
Literally just typing in 5e on any Google search that you have will take you to information on the 5th edition. So like 5e skills, and the first thing that comes up is the skills index. So all of the skills are based off of the attributes. So strength gives you your modifier will affect your athletics and other things like that. Your dexterity will be like acrobatics, sleight of hand, and stealth. Intelligence will be arcana, history, investigation, nature, religion. Wisdom will be animal handling, insight, medicine, etc., etc. I can also just help everyone out so I don't have to talk all about it. And here you go. Anyone wants to read up on any of the skills? Let me see about morons. Unenable content sharing.
That shit was being whack.
Better change my skill.
Campaign page. Okay. Collections, my campaigns.
Test. There we
You
go.
there?
Finally. I
Can you not hear us?
couldn't get voice to work for some reason.
I thought you were
Oh.
quiet.
That explains
Yeah.
it.
I was just talking to myself, guys. Don't worry. My cats were enjoying it.
Well, good.
What's that?
Okay.
I fucking burnt through this Bic. I've only done that like once before.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, self-complaint.
I don't have a light.
I don't think I've ever been able to keep a pick long enough to burn
Right,
through it.
they used to get stolen, but now here we are in these coronavirus days, and
We're only stealing from ourselves.
Go deep.
Why doesn't it let me edit my dude now? I'm having the same issue Emily had. Fuck.
Yep.
Interesting. There are two ways I would recommend heading back to the view of my campaigns, view campaign, and we should take you to the overhead of all of the characters in the campaign, and then you can click edit from there, or collections, my characters. And now that you're in the campaign, you should just be able to.
Ah,
It pops up.
there we
Yep.
go.
Cool.
There we go.
I don't know if I did
Character
anything.
not ready.
But, yep, that is correct. Has everyone
Are we still taking
selected their class?
Our class? I'm still working on it. I was
Okay.
dealing with that other shit. What does Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intuition, and
that's the last thing he just linked.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Of
So
course it is. Oh, look at that.
If you want to take it one by one, you wanted to know what Arcana is. Arcana is like knowledge of magical things. Arcana is like just your proficiency with magical beings and magical stuff in general.
Okay.
What's the other one?
Banjo.
what?
What a good doggy.
Okay. All of them.
They're different for different people.
A burger.
Oh, okay. I'm I'm doing this on my phone because this laptop is very cheap and very just. It can handle Discord and that's it.
Let me tell you, it can't. Your video is fucking trash. It can't handle. It cannot handle Discord either.
Is Isaac's frozen, or are we really just seeing his eyeballs and his hat?
He's just not blinking. He's just staring like a sociopath.
It's going great, guys.
I'm sending a text, so
All right,
I,
I'm gonna do intimidation. And
Isaac's gonna do intimidation. I'm sorry, Duff. You're gonna do intimidation and what?
What's religion? Is that good? Do I want to be a no?
So religion
you?
is, yeah. So having religion means that you understand various like religious practices. You understand histories of religion, things like anything that has to do with any type of religious thing, like cults. If you came across a symbol etched into a door, you could do a religion check to see if you would know if that's the symbol of some particular order.
Bleh.
That's cool. And intimidation, I can just use intimidation.
You literally
Someone
just
else.
like, hey, why don't you give me half off on this potion? Roll intimidation.
Why are you making the eyes at me like?
Yeah, that wasn't
Yeah,
very intimidating. I think you rolled a 1 there, Brendan.
I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, you're right.
Last
No.
one, insight.
I didn't take intimidation. I took persuasion.
Sounds like I'm thinking you might have been offering sexual favors there more than
You're right.
intimidating
I
me.
felt
I'm not so sure.
Do you feel intimidated about it?
A
No.
little? I wouldn't call it intimidation.
Why don't I give you half off on this hand job?
It's more of a
Then shoot,
it's more of a
I'll take it too.
thirst than a fear.
Also part of the religion one.
Are you feeling a
I got him picked.
thing
I'm
here
good.
right now?
Okay, cool. So now that we all have race and our class, let's move on and talk about your abilities. This is where
Wait, what about hit points? Are we at? Did we do hit points? yet?
so yeah, for first level, give yourself max HP. Because
So I guess
So 10.
right now, because you haven't chosen your constitution, it's whatever your max HP is. So on a barbarian, I have a 1d12 hit dice, which means I have a 12 right now.
Oh, okay. So mine's 8 since I roll a 1/8.
Right,
Isn't
and then
it
as
plus
soon
your
Okay.
Constitution modifier, or
it
is
is
that
plus
not
your
on the-
constitution. It is on your first one. It is plus your constitution, but not everyone has chosen their ability scores yet, so they don't know what their constitution modifier is.
And you lost me
Okay.
like
Um,
2 minutes ago.
Cool. So on the class screen in the upper right, there is a manage HP button right there. That
Okay.
is what you're going to select to choose what your hit points are. The two phrases next to it are maximum hit points and hit dice.
Mhm.
The hit dice is a class-specific roll that you will have to determine how much potential health you can have every level. So me being a barbarian, I get 1d12 potential of hit dice. You being a warlock get, I think, 1d4 or 1d6.
1d8.
Oh shoot, 1d8. Look at that.
Oh.
So if you click on the manage HP button right there, it'll take you to the manage hit point subscreen. Because it's first level, you're going to take your maximum hit points, which is the maximum number that you can have for your specific class hit die, plus your constitution modifier. Constitution is basically just like the strength of your body. How well you can take a blow, how well you can avoid being poisoned, getting drunk, having health. But we have not, as of yet, selected our constitutions. So for this point, just
Gotcha.
write 8 in the rolled HP and hit apply.
Okay.
Everyone have their hit points?
Yes.
Cool. That brings us to section 3, abilities. So this is what I was talking about in Discord yesterday about how you do different sets of dice rolls, and then you use those numbers to fill in the blanks for your different skills.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll 4
So-
d6.
Do you guys have any questions about that selection method?
Yes, Emily has no idea what's happening.
I
Okay.
worked yesterday. I literally couldn't. I did not catch up on the Discord thread. No idea.
Very cool.
If you want to come down here, we can roll together.
Oh, now I can come down there and be next to you.
No, actually, you can't. Never mind. I rescind my invitation.
Do you have the opportunity to have where you are, Emily?
Do I have the what?
You broke up.
So, do you have the opportunity to have 4 6-sided dice where you are, or even just one?
She does have that
Negative
opportunity. She does have that
Oh,
opportunity to
I
have
do,
4
apparently.
dice. You don't have a hard surface up there though, so.
Why do I have a Roscoe? Why are the dogs loose?
Why are you asking questions that don't pertain to what we're doing right now? You're being a real wet blanket asking about the dogs. I don't.
About the surface, the cutting board, mate. You could use that.
I like to roll them off my washboard abs personally. So,
Oh God, kill me.
Okay, but seriously, you gotta either roll digital dice or roll real dice. And
Okay, so I can come down there and do I have to bring
Yes.
the laptop then? I have to bring the laptop.
No, you do not need to bring the
No.
laptop to roll
you
dice.
just need a
Like a D6
paper and pencil.
Yeah, you just need to
Okay.
be able to record the rolls.
Okay, I'm
Is there
coming.
a good
Brendan,
app?
should we be doing standard array, manual, or point buy?
So it would be manual, because
Okay.
you're going to be putting in the numbers from your rolls themselves. Is there a good app for a random number generator?
Googled it.
I just said
Yes, there is.
roll virtual dice, and it's literally like a Google plugin.
Yep. And you can select the number of your rolls. Google plugin is okay, but there's a better one. Or honestly, you can just do a random number generator because it's going to come up being between 2 and 18, the way I have it set up. So if you want to do that.
So are we waiting for Emily to get downstairs, and you're gonna tell us how to roll?
You already told
yeah,
us how to
that way I
roll,
can-
you fucking nerd.
When did you tell us
Wow.
how to roll?
So what's the best
but
way
I
to
will-
roll?
There, if you have actual
Okay,
dice,
sorry. Is it D6? I'm sorry, that's what I meant to ask. Like, what's the D6? How many sided?
so the D6 shorthand for the sides of the dice are D6, 8, 10, 12, and 20.
Yeah.
So for this allocation, what you're going to do is you're going to do what's called a dice pool roll, where you're going to have more than one actual die at a time. Because your abilities are between 0 and 20, the best way to find out how to do that is to take, in my opinion, 4 D6. You roll them, you re-roll any ones, and then you take the highest 3 and add them together.
Okay.
So that you're going to do 6 times, and that is set number 1. You're going to then repeat that 2 more times and choose whichever set has the numbers that you like the most, and you'll take those 6 numbers and put them into your ability scores.
Sorry, man. Can
So-
you do that
Go
up?
get a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds chaotic. I will explain it again if you want.
I can tell you how to do it.
I'd like to listen.
I know, but I can go over it with you without you pressing your head to my headphones and trying.
I think it's kind of funny.
I can explain it to you.
Here, let me.
I thought you guys were just kind of cuddling a little bit. I thought it was kind of.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
was
a
like, "Oh,
thing."
look at you guys being cute.
That's not a thing. All right.
Okay,
So I'll show you.
Basically,
I've got 4 D6s right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll them,
Yeah.
and Normally,
And so,
you would
like,
just
for
take
each roll, you
the
just
top
take the
3 of
three
them.
highest,
Let me
and add
see.
those up.
So that's a shit roll. I would have a 9.
And then
So
that's
my
gonna-
way
then you
is you
assign them
take
to your different-
the 1s and you re-roll them,
Okay.
and then you take the
I have more dice if you wanna
highest
do your own.
of the 3, but I still have a 1 out there, so I'm going to re-roll it again. Cool. So I'm going to take my highest 3, which is a 5, a 4, and a 2, which gives me an 11. I'm going to write down 11, and that's number 1 from set 1. I'm going to then repeat this roll 5 more times, and I'll have another 11. Roll it again, and I'll have 11 for a 3rd time. Roll again, and I will have a 14. For the 5th time, I will. Oh no! Where'd you go, Die? There you are. I have a 13, and for the 6th one, I will have
Almost all the end numbers. That's kind of nice.
a
Choose one set.
15.
Yeah, exactly. So you
So
gotta choose a
what
full
that
set.
means, I'm gonna write this into Discord. So
Get it.
So you,
I
you said how many
have-
times
It's not
total?
starting off well.
11, 11, 11, 13, 15, 16.
5
That's
times.
6 times because you have 6 different abilities. And what I rolled right there is set number 1. So I'll go through and do this method another 2 times and then choose which one of those sets I like. Because right now, 3 11s, a 13, and a 15 is pretty tasty rolls. I'm going to be average in 3 things and be a little bit better in 3 other things.
I'd like to point out
Um,
that Emily is rolling her dice on the floor right now.
There's a rule that if you roll your dice on the you take a drink.
If you there's a rule that if you roll your dice on the floor, you have to take a drink, and you're rolling 4d6s, like what, 24 times or 18 times? So
Yeah. It's called sloppy dice.
it's called sloppy dice, dude. This second set for me
Sloppy
is
dice.
going very poorly. First set, nice set. Second set, not good.
Yep.
Oh my
That-
god.
That is why there are 3 sets, because you got to get those shit rolls out of the way.
Well,
Holy
I'm
crap,
getting them out of the
having-
way in the
having
middle
incredible-
here.
Holy shit.
All right, well, we're sending you to the front line.
I am the bard, so
Do not.
Well,
be on the front
you know what? Don't skimp on your constitution, bud.
Yeah, he'll be behind the lines making out with their leader.
yeah, I'm just gonna stick with this first roll. Like I feel like I just don't have to re-roll these any other sets.
Cool.
Anybody roll an 18 yet?
I've had a 17.
Yeah.
So the answer is no.
Yeah. I think my best right now is.
Yeah, it is 17.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fuck
don't even
me.
have
Why'd I
that.
do Son of a pup. I hate this app.
Here we go. I got an 18.
Nice.
There it
Hey,
is.
there's one.
There you
All right, so I gotta total these now.
So having an 18 is like you're in terms of strength, you're like 2 steps down from Hercules.
But how does
20.
You got what?
Go ahead.
does it go? So it was my second number. So are we only doing strength right now, or are we doing for everything?
You can set it wherever you want to. That's whatever you want these numbers to be.
No.
Yep.
I see. I see.
It's not like you rolled it for this.
Okay.
Hmm.
Is Emily gonna need dice again, or can she go back upstairs?
I think she's good on dice. So
Okay. Is there anything
you-
she should take with her, just in case she's do like a little roll?
Another drink.
A 20 or?
A D20 is always good, and a D6.
Okay, take one of those and one of those. You don't need all three. Okay, well she's taking them, so I don't know.
Taking them all. So
Alright.
You can have another drink. I'm not
So,
gonna stop you.
so we're
Sounds like
putting
he's
the
trying to
ones that
stop
we're
you.
choosing?
I was just putting. So whichever ones you choose, now you can put them into your abilities page. I was just putting them in Discord as a reference. My 3 sets came out, a middle ground, relatively good, a exceptional and less than good in a thing, and like a holy crap, this is great, but like you are not good at things. So I'm gonna do
Yeah.
the 3rd set because I like to roll the dice with that. So I am a barbarian, so I'm going to take my 18 and put it into my strength. I'm going to take my 15 and put it into my constitution. I'm going to take my 16 and put it into my charisma because that's just how I roll. 13 is going to go into dexterity, and you guessed it, I am going to be dumb as a stump with a 6 for intelligence and wisdom.
Hey, that's my really
Mhm.
bad set. It's a very bad set.
Yeah. So for a sorcerer, what I look for?
Sorcerer, I think yours is charisma based, your spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
Is that right?
That could be worse, Alex.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, your worst set is not that bad. It's just pretty boring. You know, you're not bad at anything, and you're relatively better at some things.
Yeah. Based on my other sets, though. I wish I rolled an 18 for something. That would have been fun.
Mhm.
But I fucking didn't, so Pierce gets
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if wishes were fishes,
If wishes were fishes, then
they could all go fuck
still be
themselves.
fishes.
Yeah, so Duff, your spellcasting ability is based off of your charisma. And what
Okay.
that means is you use charisma as your mathematic portion of doing damage, rolling to hit, and saving throws.
Okay.
So the higher your charisma modifier, the harder it is for enemies to save against your spells, and the better it is for you to attack with your spells.
Cool.
Also, if you don't like your ability scores, and if you do like your ability scores, good news, at every 4th level, you get the ability score improvement. It happens every 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th level.
Hey, babe, our mirror's gonna revive tomorrow.
Nice. Isaac, it is so loud
Yeah,
in
Isaac,
your
what
room.
the fuck
Windy.
is
Is that
going on over
What
Isaac?
is that?
It might be
Sorry,
Dale.
we got some heavy storms coming.
Yeah, it's not me, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
my
is
mic's off.
Duffy.
Is that you,
We'll
Duff?
blame- We'll still blame Isaac.
What's going on over there,
What the
Isaac?
fuck, Isaac?
What's going on over there,
You
Isaac?
got some heavy storms?
Isaac!
Isaac,
Okay.
I'm gonna
Cool,
mute
so-
until I need to speak. What's wisdom do?
So intelligence is your like ability to process and ration things out. Your wisdom is your knowledge, basically.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's
Let's
up?
say you've got a 15 as a paladin that you can put in dexterity, intelligence, or wisdom. Where might one put that 15?
So as a paladin, you're going to be wearing plate armor.
Right.
I'm just going to assume that, which gives you a disadvantage on any of your dexterity saving throws.
So maybe throw it there to be a little more
Yes.
savvy.
So
All right.
yeah, a little bit more savvy because there's nothing better than the dexterity full plate wearing paladin have to do a dexterity saving throw and then just getting toasted by a dragon.
How
That'd
dumb
be
are you
cool.
going to be if you do that, though? Like,
I think that's my breakdown.
yeah.
So, okay, my next question is with the modifiers.
Those rolls are
Yeah.
Wait, is there? I guess back that up. Is there a cap on the total score that you can have for these?
20. Yeah, 20 is the soft cap for any playable character that's not level 20. There are ways to increase your stats beyond 20, but those are like you have been bestowed by a god to just be better. Unless, of course, you have like temporary bonuses that can do it. So, like, I have a Constitution of 17. I have a racial bonus or I have a strength of 18, and an ability modifier of +4. If someone were to enchant me and give me a +2 to my strength or a +3 to my strength, it would temporarily be over 20, and that's fine. But for ability improvements, I'm saying you can't go over 20.
Okay. I get like these stats seem very good for a level 1. I know, but is that what we want? Like, am I going to be
Concerning.
You are not going to be OP.
Okay. That's
I mean,
all I care
so as a level 1, having good stats is great, but you're really not going to be able to do much. Just being honest. So just to go over the screen before we move on, I assume everyone has placed their numbers into their various attributes. It'll propagate into the matrix down here. You'll have your total score. It'll give you the modifier based off of that. And then you'll have your base score, which is the number that you put in. Underneath that, we'll have any of the racial bonuses, ability bonuses, and miscellaneous bonuses that have been put in throughout the rest of the character building. Myself, I'm a dwarf. I have a +2 racial bonus to my constitution, bringing my 15 base score up to a 17, and giving me a modifier of +3.
Okay.
Hey, question. I'm
Yeah, what's
behind
up?
because I had to make a drink and I had to go downstairs.
Mhm.
And Alec I had to make a drink.
No, these are both absolutely true. You had to make a drink,
It was
and you had to go
necessary.
downstairs.
I did to roll the dice. And Alec has the book. So what ones do I want as a warlock? Because I haven't put in any of my numbers yet. I'm a little behind. Sorry.
That's cool. Let me see here. I gotta look that up real quick.
I think it was.
I wasn't
charisma.
seeing it in the.
It talks. I read it. It talks about
Well,
it.
it talks about wisdom and charisma for saving throws.
So
But-
if in every spellcasting class, there's a section once you go down into the character.
Okay, your charisma
spellcasting
modifier.
ability.
Spell attack modifier, your proficiency plus your charisma modifier. Is that what you're looking for?
So I want charisma as my highest number.
To be able
Yes.
to do damage and land spells, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do I want next?
It depends. I mean, if you want to go off of your saving throw, wisdom is a good one for that means that you'll have a higher opportunity. Whenever I say like I need a wisdom saving throw for everyone, which is basically whenever I ask for a saving throw, a D20 and add different modifiers to it.
What's a saving throw?
A saving throw is like, say you're walking in a hallway and then you step on a rock and a trapdoor opens. I'm going to say, give me a dexterity saving throw, which is where you roll a d20 basically as a reaction. If you meet the threshold, I'll be like, you dive out of the way. If you fail the check, which means you get below the threshold, I'll say you fall into a pit. Wisdom saving throws are things like to be charmed. So there can be like a snake charmer sorcerer who comes in and is like, cast charm person on you, and if you fail the wisdom saving throw, you will be charmed by that person to think that they're actually here to be your friend, and that you definitely should give them all of your potions that you have on you.
Oh, that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Why you give them the necrosis?
That's why you give him the necrosis.
Just
You hit him with the
little
necrosis.
a little bit of
Yo,
necrotic tissue here and there ain't gonna harm anybody.
I mean, it's going to harm a lot of people.
Yeah,
Step
mean-
aside.
Yeah, I thought that was the point.
by definition.
I see a lot of people walking around
Practicing
with
her
necrotic-
necrosis.
Just, you know,
It's just a little necrosis between friends, you know, it's
I
fine.
know.
when
a
you
tough
take their
spell,
shoe
I
off
don't
and their
know.
toe comes too, you got some problems. Just saying.
There are 9 other toes.
Have you
so-
seen that happen?
I love this character. He's already developing.
No, I think she's talking about being a nurse.
I think I see what your problem is.
Por que no los dos?
Your toe's gone. It's in your shoe.
You got no big toe.
You can just be a warlock who is the
Doc.
worst nurse in Eberron, and that's totally fine. Oh, I see what your problem is here. You got necrotic flesh growing.
I see what your problem is here. You don't have any necrotic flesh growing. Let me take care of that for you. There, now your toes are falling off. You're welcome. That'll be 10
You
gold.
had too many toes. Yeah. You're only supposed to have 7 toes. I read it somewhere.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna whisper sweet nothings to you, and there goes.
Em,
Have
have you put
so
all of your numbers in?
I've put in 2.
Cool.
I'm reading. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read
No.
instead of just ask questions.
I
Can be
am not
annoying.
here rushing you. I am just asking for
I've got a
information.
question for you, Brennan. You said it was
Yes, sir.
then take your Constitution modifier and add that to your health.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Oh, it already did it. Okay, it did it for me. It appears.
Awesome. Yep. That is what it do.
Okay.
Okay, what's like the least important one for me?
What's the what?
Least
For a
important.
warlock?
Strength?
Strength, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, depends if you want to.
I'm not looking to like be a bulky warlock. I just want to
Then
kill you
strength.
from afar. Okay.
I'm one of
Yep.
them thick warlocks.
Oh, you see that warlock over there? She thick.
Hey, my name is Tony. I'm a warlock.
I'm not up. That's. Uh-oh.
Yo, you gotta move your car.
Don't make me cast Necro on you. I'll make your toe fall off.
Listen, I'm
Move
gonna
your
chuck you out of
fucking
the way and then
car.
do some necrotic damage on you, okay? Listen, don't worry about it.
I hate you all.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to play this as an Italian from New York, Emily. That's gonna be your role play from now on.
Who's also an unlicensed doctor.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
So an
Emily's
Italian from New
character's
York.
coming along great.
Do I add up this? You assholes. Do I add up the scores myself? Like another modifier override score? Or do I just hit next once I put in all my scores?
So when you're on the screen in the top, it says ability scores. There's a drop down where it says choose a generation method. Click
Yeah,
manual, and
I
then plop it
She
into those
put in all her
6
points there already.
On the top,
Cool.
but do I like add them up then
Don't-
with like my no? I
Don't you
add
don't
'em.
fill in the other or the override.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Everything down there will propagate on itself, but for you, for your own character sheet that you have, add you'll need to put your modifiers down there.
If you want to do a physical character sheet still, Em, we can go back over it and do it.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
gonna
another
still do a
time.
physical one.
Okay,
we can
so I
do
hit
that later.
next? Can we
Yeah,
hit
it
next?
sounds like we can all hit the blue
Oh.
next button.
All right.
So this is where you do your decision. You can choose. So there are actual backgrounds in the player's handbook for you to choose from: acolytes, entertainers, folk heroes, sages, pirates, things like that.
And all the ones from the
selecting
book are
those-
definitely not in there.
Yeah, that's because that.
It's extra, I guess.
It's because D&D Beyond wants you to spend money.
Well, too bad. I'm gonna
electronically.
click custom.
There you go.
Fucking
And you can
make
just-
the one that I've already picked.
If you're gonna do a physical sheet anyway, you can like customize this as much as you want, really.
Right.
Also
So
true.
just put whatever you want online.
Mm.
See.
What's the difference between chaotic, lawful, and neutral?
So those are part of the alignment matrix. So if you think about it, in D&D there are 9 I don't know, mental persuasions on how one would react in a situation. Moral alignments, what you would do. So between being good, evil, and being neutral, there's being following a path of order, like following laws, and chaos and discord, which is the other side of it. So if you were like you know what?
How are you
There are-
lawfully
what's
good and
like,
part of
there-
the fiend?
For every show there is like a moral alignment chart that maps onto it. Like, do you watch Game of Thrones?
I mean, not the whole thing, but like half of it.
If you look up moral alignment Game of Thrones on Google, it'll show you like who the chaotic good is in the show, who the chaotic evil is, the lawful good, and all that. It kind of like makes it a little bit more clear, like how a character is formed around like their moral core.
So to answer the question of how you can be like lawful good, you can follow the laws and not be good. Look at attorneys.
True.
You know, they know that their client did something that was bad, but they followed the laws to get them off. So, you know, that is being lawful evil, I guess.
Did you link skill proficiencies in here also? No.
I think I didn't.
From
I might have.
so for the background features and stuff like that in the custom thing, it's like not gonna have Outlander, which was what I was planning on doing.
Okay.
I'm guessing that just doesn't matter because Outlander's just like, oh, you can find food and you know maps well and stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean that's stuff that you can, as long as it doesn't give. Some of them give you like specific skills based off of it. Like I chose pirate, so I have the skill proficiency of perception, and I can choose another one.
yeah, no, I
So
don't
I'm
have
gonna take.
anything like that.
So just as long as you manually put that in for yourself, that's fine.
Well, it gives me, yeah, the skill proficiencies I can just select still, it looks like, so.
And tool proficiencies as well. Everything else for your background is, you know, flavor text, how to play things out. I just chose random for all of my characteristics because, you know, why not?
Yeah.
I am going to be neutral. I have no faith. And I'm gonna live a aristocratic lifestyle.
So the Witcher would be kind of like chaotic good.
Yeah.
Like Witcher would be like neutral, right? Like, or at least in his ideals, I guess. Like that you're only supposed to be objective, like a true neutral.
Yeah. Well, he like follows his own code though, right? So he'd be like lawful neutral, right? Because he like he has a code that he tries to follow, but it's his code, not.
Good point. Yeah, he'd be more like a lawful neutral.
All right. Well, I'm going with chaotic good because it says unicorns are chaotic good.
There you go. You're absolutely correct.
Sounds like a good
right.
time. Necrotic
So
people.
am I. I'm so excited.
I have one other question.
Chaotic good.
Yeah, what's up?
In justifies the means.
In the skill proficiencies, I'm not seeing athletic as a choice. Is that because I already have it?
Yes.
Okay, so I choose a different one then.
Great.
I assume since you chose Outlander, you're going to be speaking in like a Scottish accent this whole time.
I'm not even gonna attempt that. I was like gearing up for it, and I was like, "There's no way it's not gonna work."
We have to meet another Outlander, and you have to try to act like them because you want to be accepted.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing. And then you have to do it.
There can be only one. I put this in here just as a reference, the alignment system, what it says about chaotic good. The character acts in their conscience, directs them with little regard to what others expect of them. You make your own way, but are kind and benevolent. You believe in goodness and right, but have little use for laws or regulations. I had a friend of mine play a druid who spent the entire campaign trying to plant trees on the rooftops of the city so that the trees would destroy the city and everything would go back to nature, while also commissioning 12 statues of himself so he could stone meld into it and hide when he was being pursued for robbing a bank.
Perfect.
Of course.
Yeah, chaotic good. Like, maybe not good. Chaotic neutral. He did punch me in the nuts, but
for tool proficiencies.
Yeah.
Dice set is what we're going to use, and then what's the deal with all of the options here? Is this something that I just start with, or is this stuff that I just have an innate knowledge of?
So when we get to the next section, which is choosing your equipment, that's when you'll be able to select stuff like having the dice set on you. But yeah, you just know how to use a dice set if that ever comes up.
Okay, listen, I'm choosing flute for my instrument, but it's an ocarina. Okay.
Cool.
It's a flute.
Yeah.
No,
It's this ocarina right here.
It's a flute, bro. Sounds like a flute to me.
That is a Soph's turtle. Leave it alone.
It is a turtle ocarina.
For Soph, not you. For the
That could be,
lifestyle.
I like the banter though. That could be like your character is really insecure about the fact that it's a flute that you're
It's
playing.
an ocarina! It's not a flute!
For the lifestyle, it says like 1 GP or 2 SP. What is that in reference to? Do I care about it? Do I have to think about it?
yeah. It's so. How does your character normally live? Do they live like I chose an aristocratic? I live a life of plenty and comfort, which means that my usual expenditures are like I'm going to stay at the finest inn, I'm going to eat the finest food and drink the finest wine, and it's going to be like 10 gold, and I don't care because I'm an aristocrat.
Is this like do
I
I
deal
have
with
to actually
platinum.
like pay for stuff in the game? Like, is this going to be
Yes.
annoying? Okay, well,
Yeah.
alright. Okay.
Yeah, there is a currency system in this game.
Do I actually have to fill out all of this right now? Because I don't know what I'm supposed to put for personality characteristics.
No, you don't need to fill out any of this. You can come back, and this is going to be part of everyone's homework. Is filling out your personal characteristics. What do you look like? What are your personality traits? Any organizations or allies that you know of? Part of your backstory, if you want to. So I think at this point we can move on to equipment. Sound good to everyone?
Okay. So we'll come back to that.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll swing back around. And throughout the week, message me any questions you have about this. If you want me to jump on at some point, I'll be happy to give you weird eyes.
Okay.
Cool.
Might just take you up on that.
Hey-o. So starting equipment, you can either choose equipment or gold. I would recommend for everyone to choose equipment because otherwise you'll just get a lump sum of gold and you'll have to go through and figure out what you want yourself. Where every class has a really good walkthrough of like, do you want this or this? It's like, well, I want this because I want a mace, so I'll take a mace over a short spear. So as a barbarian, I chose equipment. I have my choice of a great axe, or any martial melee weapon. So I'm going to choose any martial melee weapon, and I am going to choose a trident because I'm a pirate. And then at this point,
At once.
what's that?
How many weapons can you wield? Like I can
You
wield
have
a
two
sword and
two
darts.
hands.
I get 10 darts.
Cool. So some weapons are two-handed.
Isaac, you have 2 hands.
Weird. Okay. It's a weird combo.
You can have other weapons on you without wielding them. So like my main weapon is going to be the trident, but I can also have 2 hand axes. So I can switch my trident onto my back and pull my 2 hand axes, and I can go in that way, or I can throw one of my hand axes.
I've got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How do I know if like a weapon is a 2-handed weapon or not? Or does that not really matter?
It does matter. I wish it brought up the side section that had all of the information on it, because there is equipment. Yeah, I'll find something and I'll link it to everyone.
Okay. Like, I mean, I'm guessing a greatsword is one, but I don't know if a warhammer is like a, you know, a big old hammer or a small hammer, you know?
Let me see here.
A little rubber mallet.
Selling. Let's see here. Equipment.
Oh,
armor.
properties. There's properties. So this two-handed is a property. So maybe that's what I need to look for.
Cool.
Did it say heavy?
Oh,
or light?
property versatile. This weapon can be used with one or two hands. A damage value in parentheses appears with the property if you're using it with two hands. Okay, got it.
I also linked into the Vault of Sages the weapons for the edition, and it has a list of everything based on simple weapons, martial weapons. So to go over just what you'll see really quickly. So every weapon has a cost associated to it, the amount of damage that it does, and the damage style. Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing are the three physical styles. There's also elemental damage, so electric damage, acid damage, necrotic damage. These are all magical damages in nature. Some things have resistances and immunities to specific types of damage. Some things take double damage for being hit by it. Everything has a weight, but it doesn't matter. Everything has a range. If there are going to be two numbers, the range being the soft cap and the hard cap for the range. The first number for like the dagger, I can throw a dagger 20 feet and be pretty accurate with it. And I can throw a dagger 60 feet but not be very accurate. So the first number is you make a normal attack if they're within that range. The second number is you're at a disadvantage to attack at that range.
Okay.
The whole 5th edition is largely based off of advantage and disadvantage. It removes a whole bunch of the number crunching that was in all the other systems. It basically means that if you're at an advantage, you roll the d20 twice and you'll take the best of it, the best of the two. If you're at a disadvantage, you'll roll it twice and take the worst of it. Simple as that.
Roll with me, guys. I can throw a dart 60 feet.
Sure.
Boy.
Okay.
Yep.
Aiming for the eyes.
You're going to be at a disadvantage for that, but you can still do it.
So,
And then,
so
as
I
you
get
were
to have.
saying, Al,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as you were saying, the properties describe what different things about it. So a club is light, which means that you can wield 2 clubs and you can take 2 attacks with them. You can attack with them two-handed without having any special thing about it. Finesse means that you can use your dexterity modifier as opposed to your strength to hit and to do damage. Two-handed obviously means you need to wield it with two-handed. Versatile means that you can wield it one-handed, but if you wield it with 2 hands, you'll get higher damage out of it. Thrown means you can throw it. Ammunition means you need to actually like have ammunition for it. You can't just be like, oh, the bow.
Right.
Congratulations. So go ahead.
So I'm like, I just have a fucking bunch of weapons apparently. So can I just rotate between these in combat, or how does that work? So like one turn I can be like, I hit this guy with a glaive. The next turn I can be like, I hit this guy with a hammer.
So in the way it works is there is.
We're not getting any of that.
What?
We didn't get any of that. Start over.
From me? Sorry. Okay, so a way everyone's individual turn works is you get a movement, an action, and a bonus action if you have the opportunity to take a bonus action. Switching weapons is usually considered a bonus action of, I'm going to sheath my glaive and draw my sword and board. Sometimes there are. I'll be like, if you just throw your glaive down and then draw your weapons, I'll say that that's a free action. But that does mean that you'll then have to take the time to pick your glaive back up later on.
Right. So if we were to like have to leave real quick and I didn't pick up my glaive, I would lose it essentially.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a wizard lose his spell book that way.
It's a rough go.
It was my wizard. I really laughed at that guy. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fuck with that spell book. And I did.
Run to the bathroom real quick.
So I'm gonna have to like buy more javelins at some point. It seems.
You can pick them back up.
Okay.
They really only break if you intend to break them. Roll a 1, or
Gotcha.
Yeah, or lose them. And once you've selected all of your equipment, that is basically everything is done. You now have a character sheet and a character that can be used in any campaign.
What the fuck is a reliquary? Relic.
It's like a holy thing it's like a carrying thing for a holy symbol. Or
Oh yeah, no, that's a little much.
Word.
No, that's Yoda.
Cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Got my inventory.
So from with feats, is that you can do that if you forego your what's it called,
Ability
score improvement to get a feat if you can like make an argument as to why you completed the feat. Is that right?
Absolutely. So Eric brings up a good thing, a good point. The 4th level, 8th level, 12th level ability score improvement, there is a option that I always like to choose, which is if you don't want to increase your ability scores, because you're like, I'm looking pretty good, you can start looking into the feats, which allow you to just be better at something. So like being a crossbow master, normally there's a reload requirement for a crossbow. This removes the reload requirement for any crossbow that you're proficient with, and you can fire a hand crossbow as a bonus action if you make an attack. So you can be going in there, with a sword, with a like a two-handed whatever, and you can make an attack with it. If you hit, you can drop it, and for your bonus action, you can fire your crossbow and reload it for the next round. There's feats in there for casters and just a bunch of fun stuff. So when we get closer to 4th level, and everyone has sort of fleshed out their characters, we can start talking about which feats people might want to take.
Okay.
Cool. So I have done a lot of talking, and you guys have done a really good job creating your characters, I assume, because I can't see them. I mean, I can, but I just am not looking at them right now. Do you all have any questions for me at this time?
What is our homework?
So your homework is to fill out as much of the backstory and that you want, to at least get your physical traits down and your alignment down, and to message me in the next couple of days about, and I'll put this all into the vault of what it is, but message me what your character has been doing for like the past month. It'll be a good way for me to tie everyone into the start of the campaign.
Okay. What setting? Where are we in the world?
Oh, let me send you the introductory stuff because I have a map. All right, so we are in the world of Faerun. It's those of you who are familiar with Baldur's Gate, we are going to actually be starting southeast of the city of Baldur's Gate itself. Let me see about this. So it's this is taking place in the Forgotten Realms, on Faerun's
Faerun's what?
Parents, what?
western shore, the Sword Coast.
Cool. Perfect.
Let me link over the map now that I've talked about it. So maps. Sages. There we go. And there you go. Sword Coast.
Oh.
Have a map there, boys.
Nice.
So we are going to be starting in the southeast. What's that? Look
There's
at
a
that.
high-res version.
Well, you don't need to worry about whatever crap map Pierce just posted there, because everything that we need is gonna islands. Fuck those islands.
Is there a larger size as that?
Yeah, click mine. Don't click his.
Yeah.
What is the map brand?
You hit the open original, then you can like see it.
I'll be right there. We're almost done. So on
Still
Pierce's
click mine.
big map over
On
here,
Pierce's
which is
giant
just way
map,
too
make
big.
sure to zoom in only on the Sword Coast area,
Yeah.
because the rest of it is totally useless.
It doesn't even have cities on here, so that's cool.
Pierce's
Yeah.
great map.
hmm
No, it has cities. They're just really fucking small.
Yeah. We're gonna be starting out in Belabor, around that area, the southeast.
Belabor.
It's right on one of the rivers,
Okay.
northwest of Easting, south of the Sunset.
Well, I can't find that on Pierce's map, so I'm going back to Brendan's map.
Like all the way in, or this?
Okay, I can't find that on
sorry,
Brendan's
not-
map either,
Okay,
so...
go back
It's not. It's not Belabor. It's Iriabor.
Okay, that one. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that one.
Sorry, it's dark in here. Iriabor.
Give us a. Can I get a landmark?
Oh
again?
yeah.
Yeah,
South of what?
it's
South of the Sunset Mountains, which is in the of the map
it's
itself.
almost the most southeast town. Easting
Yeah.
is the most
Easting
southeast,
is the only thing-
but it's just up
Yeah.
the road from Easting towards Baldur's Gate.
Damn. I had a like really detailed Faerun map that was like gigantic that I had on my desk at work, and then we moved offices through. Fuck.
Fucked up, bud.
I did fuck up.
Well, you blew it. The Sword Coast is a strip of civilization, which is a bunch of widely sparse space cities and arranged like beads on a string. There's a combination of roads and wagon tracks loosely connect to the cities that stretch from Luskan in the north to Kalimport in the south, passing through Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, and other great ports along the way. The bulk of this adventure will take place on the stretch between Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter.
Cool.
Okay.
Name of it again? Or we're starting Erebor?
Iriabor.
Iriabor.
Iriabor. There's a lot of like weird words in
I'm
here.
calling it Erebor.
So I pronounce it how you want.
I'm just.
Do we have a
Say.
general destination? Where are we?
He just said all of that. You're doing a great job, Isaac.
I'm trying to find the map, okay?
He said that this is going to take place along the Sword Coast between Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate, Erebor, starting in Erebor. This is the general destination is the map Brendan posted.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, there'll be more.
Oh, wait,
All right.
Cool. Awesome.
like to know
Sweet,
more?
sweet.
So
how- How much do we
Yeah, go ahead.
use the D&D Beyond? Like, we're gonna use the hell out of this thing, right?
Yeah, I have I have all of my character sheets saved as
Okay.
like tabs, not like active tabs, but like bookmarked. Because every time you want to say, "Hey, I want to do something," I'm gonna do a skill check, and you'll reference your sheet, or when we're in combat, there's actually a tab for actions where it's like, here are all of the actions you can do. Here are your attack actions. Here are your action actions, bonus actions, reactions, etc., etc. All of your equipment is also kept here as well, that you can go through. I'm putting my great axe on now. I'm selecting that, and it'll carry over when I do my attacks. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, cool! I have my great axe equipped, +6 to hit, 1d12 +4 damage, etc., etc.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So it's used. Your character sheet is used very often.
Right.
I do want to go over just the basics of the character sheet because there's some things about are going to be used a lot. The first one is your armor class. Everyone has a unique armor class based upon your constitution and or armor and or class. Mine is 14. Basically, in order for something to do damage, it needs to break through the armor class. So if I have an armor class of 14 and you roll a d20 and you get a 14, you do not break through my armor, so you do not damage me.
What's everybody's armor class?
Tab is this under?
You
What?
What?
You have a rash?
What?
Find our.
If you finish your character creation, you should just have the on your
Light
D&D
armor.
Beyond.
Okay.
It should just be the main home screen,
Mine's 12.
and then
Oh, armor class 14.
14 for me too.
12.
cool.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Although I get.
To be expected from the
Yeah.
paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I figured. I was just curious if it like actually worked out that way since people were rolling. You know.
Is this what you're asking?
Yeah. Basically, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that I'm better than them. It's important that we put numbers to how much better I am.
I'm getting a lot of numbers here, but how high is everybody in this particular one?
So, what's your walking speed, bud?
5 feet.
The other thing is anything that has a dot next to it between the saving throws and the skills are things that you are proficient in, which means when you roll, you'll get to add your proficiency bonus. This is the other thing that 5th edition did that was like, we're just going to eliminate all of the thousands of mathematical equations you have to do, as opposed to specializing and choosing in things that you're proficient in. Every couple of levels, your proficiency bonus just increases. So for things periodically, you'll just be better at them.
So even though I have +4 to strength, it's not. Those are not. That's not included in my saving throws. Only wisdom and charisma. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, because you are only proficient with those 2 saving throws.
Okay.
That's when you'll get to add your proficiency bonus in it. Now, all of your saving throws are based off of attribute modifiers. So I have a strength save of +6 because of my strength modifier of +4, and I'm proficient in it. But I only have a dexterity save of +1 because I'm not proficient in dexterity, but I have a dexterity modifier of +1. Does that help answer?
Oh, I see. So yeah, my wisdom is only +1 normally, but because I'm proficient in it, my save I get a +3.
That is correct.
Okay, got it. I see now. Yeah.
And that also happens for the same in your skills as well. All of your skills have modifiers that they're based off of. And then if you're proficient in it, you'll add the proficiency bonus to it.
Yo, I'm athletic as shit. Let me tell you.
Area boy.
You need me to like pick something up? I'll pick it up.
And
You need
put it
me to
down.
put something down? I'll put it down.
Cool. Also, your proficiencies in language.
Brendan, Brendan, you got to lower your gate a little bit. We're losing you halfway through sentences. Lower it like half a
I'm
point,
sorry.
maybe.
I'll just move it closer to my mouth.
That works too.
I have it set for Overwatch with TV blasting next to me.
Yeah.
So.
We appreciate that also.
Yes.
Gotcha. I know how much you really loved listening to all of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, that
a few
show
weeks
in
ago.
particular, because it's just like constantly yelling. They're just always
Yeah, they are
yelling.
constantly yelling. We're also watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now.
Good amount of yelling in that too. Pretty good show.
Just cut out again.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. You
Oh,
know
I
what?
thought the
Fine.
sentence ended. I didn't realize he was still talking. It actually cut out at a pretty good point, so you can leave it there if you want.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's just step that down. Oh, nope, made it worse. There we go. 5-7. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Explore the ins and outs of your character sheet, and we'll come up with any questions.
Cool.
Sound good?
Cool. Brandon.
But for that, thank y'all for doing this, and we are officially done for the day.
So are we meeting next Tuesday? What's
Yes.
the deal?
Yeah, that works for me.
It works for me.
I know that you guys have Soph, so you won't be able to be on until after 7. So let's say I'm gonna jump in between 7 and 7:30. We'll start getting things pulled together at 7:30 when everyone's here, and then I like to do soft cap and hard cap for end times, just so we're not here till 3 in the morning. So it's a work night for me. I would say the soft cap is 11, hard cap is midnight.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Cool.
So,
All right.
All right.
So, what's your guys' persuasion?
I close out D&D.
Can I see other people's character sheets in?
Yeah.
How do I get to my campaigns? There we go. Wheelie Boys and Dragons. I like it. Nice. Yeah, I can see your guys' fucking shit. Cool.
And that's how I know how hard to hit you all.
Yeah, and that's so I can see that I'm better than other people. Though Pierce with his fucking 18.
What's up?
You're the one who uploads photos for our profiles? Or we
You can upload a photo for your own profile.
Yeah, Brendan's not gonna be doing that.
I will not be doing that. I will be doing almost everything else, but I will not be doing that.
Actually, I guess I got
mine is
some
young
good
Karl
rolls.
Marx.
Yeah, you guys would work, man.
Yeah, my rolls were better than I thought they were.
Mine were okay.
Neverwinter is its own area. I thought that was bad enough.
Wow, Duffy is straight up a robot.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
like,
wonderful, Duff.
Duffy's video hasn't moved for me in probably 20
He's
minutes.
probably not even talking to us.
Yeah. Neat, nerd, 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 neat, nerd, nerd.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go eat dinner. Thank you all very much. Message me later.
Bye.
It's been fun.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
You guys all next week.
Yep.
Bye.